Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Celtics Roundtable podcast on CLNS Radio. CLNS Radio, a leading online provider of audio-video coverage of the Boston Celtics. Welcome inside this show, everybody. Evan Valenti alongside Matthew and Jonathan Ignal and Zaire. Tonight in LA, we'll get to a couple of things, including something that's Brad Stevens related. But I want to start with this because this news came out today. It kind of took over Reddit for a little bit, and I thought it was very interesting. It has to do with the Celtics lineup. This stat came out, and it was the Celtics starting lineup of Isaiah Thomas, Jaylen Brown, Jay Crowder, Jonas Jerebko, and Amir Johnson once again proved to be a sneaky good five-man unit for the C's. The lineup has now played a total of 40 minutes together this season over 5 games, and it boasts a plus 40.1 net rating. It would be the best in the entire league if it qualified. I think it's crazy, right, that's a stat, and that's a big stat, because if you look at that lineup, you say it's not our favorite lineup, but let's kind of get around the table here. What's your favorite lineup? Let's start with Jonathan. Who's in your favorite lineup? Your top 5, your top starting 5 Celtics players, Jonathan.
You know, it's tough. I don't know if we've seen every lineup we would have liked to with all the injuries and stuff, but you got to have Isaiah Thomas at point guard. I want to see, Avery Bradley Marcus Smart at the 2, Jaylen Brown at the 3, Jay Crowder at the 4, and Al Horford at the 5. I don't think we've seen this lineup much, but I just think anytime you can throw out multiple guys who can switch onto so many positions and still have IT's scoring punch in there, I just prefer Marcus over Avery on defense. I think he's just more versatile. I think that's a recipe for success with that lineup come playoff time. The rebounding might be an issue, but I think Jay Crowder, as he gets healthier in my eyes, I think he can make a better push on the boards.
Any disagreement with anybody? Anybody have anything different?
I think it's cool.
I'd go at that.
I mean, I like the idea of Jaylen Brown and Jay Crowder on the floor, both now and in the long term for the Celtics. Like Jonathan said, that's a versatile lineup.
Well, one of the reasons why that works, you talk about the length, Matthew, and it's because you look at how does a team sort of figure out how to deal with Isaiah in the defensive end in terms of how can they help him be successful. And if you have a bunch of guys that are long and can switch and can play great help defense, that's going to help them with Isaiah. Like when he's obviously posted up in the block on a bigger guy, you can run one of those other guys at the big, and he's going to force him to make a quick decision. A lot of times, if you rotate the right ways, you end up picking off a pass or having to throw it away or forcing the offense further out of further away from the basket. Like that's a good lineup to experiment with because of how it helps Isaiah on the defensive end.
I would say I want my hands down most efficient players out there. And so I'm going with the classic lineup: Horford, Amir, Jay, Avery, IT. And,
creative.
I know. I know. It's just when we're talking starters, we're typically meaning like guys that's playing in crunch time. And I know Marcus plays in crunch time. But once again, like in the playoffs, man, getting baskets has been this team's Achilles heel. And Marcus is going to be out there, but I don't want to rely on him offensively to help me on this team when it comes to making baskets. I mean, yes, he can distribute the ball a bit, but I'm not desperate for him to distribute the ball because I have IT and I have Al Horford and I have other guys who know how to work the ball around. Like,
well, you can never have too many playmakers, Zaire.
No, you can't have too many playmakers, but you also can't have too many guys that can put the ball in the basket. And I don't want Marcus Smart taking. It's what it is. The guy is, not a good shooter, and we've been plagued by bad shooting the last 2 years in the playoffs. That has been the number one issue, bad shooting. So yes, I like what Marcus Smart does, but I don't want him replacing Avery Bradley when it comes to putting the ball in the air. Avery Bradley can defend, if not as well, better than Marcus Smart. He just can't defend the bigger guys, but he can defend the guys you need him to defend. But we need baskets. So I'm going with Avery, man, all day.
And it helps when you play a team like the Cavs and they have KYRIE on the floor and you can shut them down.
All right, well, I got a question. It's not really as much of a question, actually, but I just wanted to alert you all that Andrew Bogut played 1 minute today. He picked up 2 fouls. He was a -2. Bagels across the board, and got injured. What's your thoughts on that?
Wait, I don't mean to laugh at anybody's misfortune, okay? But hey, remember what I said way back when we first started talking about this Andrew Bogut stuff? I said we don't need another dude on the MASH unit. And look at what just happened. You know, logic. Yeah, leave Andrew Bogut where he is because Andrew Bogut is always sitting down. Don't believe too much in what Kelly Olynyk does when he gets hot because he's going to come way down to earth. And y'all see that. He had that nice 5-game stretch, and since then, he can barely get 5 points. So it's just these things that typically happen. You see them happen. It's just a rotation. The earth spins, you know?
I have a serious problem with the idea of giving a bench player who routinely disappears for weeks on end a sixth of the salary cap. It just doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Not for a team. Like if the Celtics didn't have such a bright future, didn't have so many other options, I'd be like, yeah, keep Kelly. But giving him a big contract when the Celtics can do so many different other things, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, he's not going to get that contract from the Celtics if he's going to go to the Celtics. It's going to be on their terms, and I don't think Kelly's going to be okay with that. And as much as fun as I've had watching him, I will get over it probably fairly quickly when they bring in somebody better. And it's just been unfortunate.
The anti-Zizic clock.
It's the inconsistency is mind blowing. It's just mind blowing because he does have really great moments, and then he just disappears for 2 weeks. And I love good Kelly Olynyk. He's an amazing player. But
were you about to say hilarious?
Yeah, he's a hilarious player. Because he is
a hilarious player.
He is. Because he plays good positional defense sometimes. He'll go out there, not only do that, he'll hit big shots, he'll move the ball, he's got this up fake, he has confidence, but that guy's not always around.
Ante Zizic, man, I'm telling you, the clock is ticking. That's your guy next year. Ante Zizic will be on this team. He will be a contributor, and he will be better than Kelly Olynyk when it's all said and done. I'm feeling it right now. I don't have much to base it on. This is another wild guess right here, which is I don't make many of them, but I think this is the.
Seems like you make a lot of them because you're right all the time on this podcast.
Yeah, make more.
Just say,
If this is, I think he's the answer, though. I think he's going to get that shot because there's not like a ton of guys that's going to be available, and you don't want to cripple yourself. And he's cheap, gamble. It's not like you're going to spend a lot of money with it. You know, you probably I don't know how much he's going to make, but it's not going to be that much. And I say give him a try. And I think that this is your starting center next year, and you can move out Horford to that floor.
Starter. Zaire, have you seen the guy play?
Slow down, man. He's like, 20 years old? He's going to be 20 first year in the NBA. He's an interesting prospect. I can see why the Celtics like him. I don't know if he's going to be a rim protector in the NBA. I don't know if he's going to be able to stretch the defense out to the 3-point line. Those are perhaps the two most desirable qualities right now. But you can be successful doing other things. It's true. But we don't know. I mean, we talked about not keeping Kelly. I think there's perhaps a better chance that Amir Johnson's the starter next year.
Yeah, I like Amir. You can tell
he's really good, man. Like against the Suns, that first quarter he had, he was like.
How many blocks did he have that game? He had like 4 blocks that game. He was all over the place. It was amazing.
So underappreciated, and his real plus-minus stats, I think, reflect how good he truly is. And he's having a better year than last year. As long as it's on a short-term deal and the Celtics strike out in their major free agency pitches, I think that you can probably get him cheaper than someone like Kelly Olynyk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Zizic, by the way, this was posted today. 12 points on 6 of 6, 9 rebounds in 30 minutes and a loss. But 12 and 9 on perfect shooting. I'll take that.
I don't want Kelly Olynyk, preferably in a Celtics uniform next year. I love what he's done when he's feeling it, but at the end of the day, come playoff time, you want guys you can trust, and I don't think anyone on the team can trust Kelly Olynyk to show up for a 7-game series. He's kind of got a history of not showing up for big games, and with that kind of money that he's going to warrant, there's other guys out there. I don't think Zizic, who has never played an NBA minute, will be the starter right away. I think Amir Johnson's a nice fit in that role. I mean, he doesn't have to finish the game. If he's giving you 20 minutes and hitting some threes, being active on defense and grabbing some boards, I think that's a great fit. Who knows? Maybe there'll be Gordon Hayward on the team, so we won't even be having this discussion.
Today's roundtable is being brought to you by the SeatGeek ticketing app. As the Celtics playoff push heats up, SeatGeek is the smartest and easiest way to get tickets to every game. With SeatGeek's seamless mobile experience, you can buy and sell tickets in just 2 taps. And it just doesn't end with the Celtics or any other NBA game. SeatGeek also has plenty of concert, comedy, and theater tickets available too, and it's all fully guaranteed. Listeners of CLNS Radio can support this production and get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. Here's how to do it. Download the free SeatGeek app, go to the Settings tab, and click Add a Promo Code, and enter promo code CELTSNEWS. It's all one word, CELTSNEWS, all one word. And SeatGeek will send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase. Download the free SeatGeek app and enter promo code CELTSNEWS today.
Yeah, so going back to Jaylen Brown, yesterday, friend of the show in the Ringer's own Kevin O'Connor essentially said that by some point next year, Jaylen Brown will be better than Jay Crowder, and Jay Crowder might be on the trading block because his value. Kevin's been with me kind of since day one in believing in Jaylen Brown's stock since way before the draft. I mean, obviously we're loving what we're seeing from Jaylen, but Matt, do you think this might be too hot too soon?
He got crucified on Twitter for it. Celtics Reddit didn't treat him much better. I always think that this stuff is possibilities, and maybe there's like a 10% chance of Jaylen Brown becoming better than Jay Crowder next year. It's pretty low odds. He would have to make a pretty huge leap from this season, where he's ranked, as one of the worst Celtics in plus minus, real plus minus, what have you. So it would have to be a pretty huge leap for him, and you generally just don't see that out of raw 21-year-olds. Like maybe year 3 it starts to become a little plausible, but it requires pretty consistent improvement from Jaylen Brown because Jay Crowder's really, really good.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown has to become a really great defender and a 40% three-point shooter literally in how many months? Come on,
I don't think he has to do that. I think he's got a better slashing game than Crowder.
It's a huge leap. You can't. I wouldn't expect him to make that leap. I'd expect him to get better. I would expect him to be like a 7th or 6th guy for them next year. Probably more of a 7th man off the bench who can really play and makes you go, holy crap! What's really going to happen here? If that happened, then look out NBA because that's going to be devastating.
I mean, I think the more likely thing is that he regresses back to earth. He has a couple hot weeks. He goes through a slump sometime during his sophomore year.
The real side of me says that he should be better than Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder was a 2nd-round draft pick, and Jaylen Brown is the 3rd pick of the NBA draft. So he should be better than him sooner than later. He looks like a great athlete. But he doesn't always look like a great basketball player. I'm willing to I'm having a hard time casting any kind of judgment on Jaylen Brown right now because I just don't know. He's just a strange thing to me right now. So I'm just sitting back watching.
Yeah, it's always exciting when Jaylen Brown gets hot because we know he's got the athleticism, we know he's got the physical tools with that 7-foot wingspan and that grown man body, and he's extremely fast. He's got an awesome first step. He's aggressive. He's got a proto stars game, like a guy who's got the mentality of a star and the athleticism and body to match. He's a nebula with a nebulous personality. So. He's very exciting, and when he gets hot, I sometimes get a little bit carried away too. But it's a classic trap to overrate a few good weeks. It just happens. I hope he continues to improve. I think he's made some actual improvements this year, but to me that mostly comes with off-ball defense because he's gone to where he looks completely lost. To a place where he actually looks like he belongs on the floor. The hot shooting, that comes and goes. The
things you see of him putting on the floor and tightening the handle a little bit more and a little bit more, and the shooting getting a lot better, a little bit better. The only thing that really bugs me about Jaylen Brown is his free throw shooting.
Yeah, but what's even more encouraging is how often he gets to the line. I mean, the free throw shooting will come. I just think, we've been seeing flashes all year, and I thought the Suns' game was a great example of Jaylen doing something that Jay Crowder cannot. And there was a moment, there was a couple minutes stretch when Jaylen Brown really took over the offensive load and was the focal point, got to the line, made some baskets. And I don't think we've ever seen Jay Crowder be the focal point of the offense, nor will we ever.
Make sure you follow us on social media at CLNS Roundtable for updates and podcasts, witty thoughts and banter from the rest of us, all that good stuff. And that's at CLNS Roundtable.